All right. It is draft night eve, right? Is that what we're calling it? NFL draft eve? What used to be the greatest night of the year for Detroit Lions fans is still one of the greatest nights of the year. It's maybe the greatest night of the spring, but now we at least have a good football team. So it's no longer let's hope for the draft and just drink hopium, right? Or hope, drinking the Kool-Aid. Now we actually have a good team to back it up, which I think actually makes the draft even more exciting. And speaking of draft, Chris, two players that we drafted in 2021 just signed massive extensions by the name of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell. So let's just get into this and let's talk about it. Do you want me to give you some of the details? Like, how do you want to first, why don't you tell me about what the importance is of re-signing these two Goliaths? Let's start with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I think we overthink this whole thing, and I think it's really easy. Thankfully, it's easy because they are premier. It's awesome. They are the premier guys in their position, and you would take in a power ranking fantasy draft, these guys would go top 10 because of their age, because of what they've done already. Just what's to come. So this is so easy. And I think sometimes we overthink it. Like, what are we going to do? It's like, you're one of the best at your position. Here's a really good contract. We're going to make you either the highest paid, second highest paid, but right up there. But the reason you do it now is because it's going to continue to go up and up and up. And there's going to be someone that leapfrogs him and leapfrogs him. And so in just a couple of years, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be like the 6th highest paid wide receiver, right? In his absolute prime. And Penei Sewell, same thing. So it's just like, let's do this. Get these guys. What are we going to do? Just let them walk, or let's do it.
Take care of it. Round compensatory pick.
Let's just take care of these guys. Let's get it done. And that's what's cool is Brad Holmes. We just trust him, and we're seeing the process now in place where, all right, draft really well, re-sign your guys. And so now this is a big area we were really wondering about, and he's just being proactive. It's really cool to see happening so fast.
Yes, for sure. And here's kind of the way I will say this too with St. Brown. I think I did a video on this a little while back, right? A little while back where I talked about just pay him, right? Like, all right, is it going to take 25? At least. Could it take 27, 28? Yup, I'd pay him anyway. And I said, if it got up to 30, I'd start questioning it. And then the longer the deal didn't get done, the more I was like, we can't not have this guy. Like, Jared Goff is not what Jared Goff has been without St. Brown. If you think about Jared Goff's meteoric rise back to relevancy after leaving the Rams, it started with two things. Two things signified it. One was Dan Campbell taking over play calling in year one, and the other one was Amon-Ra St. Brown actually starting to play well his rookie year. And so now the last 2 years, Goff has been amazing, but it's because he knows I'll just go to St. Brown. I'll just hit St. No problem. And it's so much more than that, though, isn't it? It's like you have the talent, but also you have the work ethic. You have the drive. You have this guy who you want to be in the locker room in St. Brown. Like, because I said we were going to focus on St. Brown first, right? Like, that's what I love about it so much. It's worth $1 million, $2 million, $5 million a year just for his attitude. Like, seriously. Without the fact that he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Dude, that his attitude, his leadership, his just the young guys come into the building and this guy's working out and acting the way that he does. And you're just like, oh, okay, right? Like, I'll follow in line versus Antonio Brown or somebody that's it's like, wait, this is how we act. How do we act? You've got this guy that's literally sets the standard. And then I love what you said when it's
or even Stephon Diggs, right?
Yeah.
And
when it's 3rd and 6, and I mean, you saw it against the Rams in the playoff game where it's just like, well, instead of scheming it up and just can't get separation, I mean, it's open. Goff is figuring him out. And so it's like, first down. It's just, you cannot put a price tag on that. It's so huge.
Let me ask you this. Is any part of you upset now that he's getting 30 million a year, that he's getting Tyreek Hill money, is like when you look at the contract itself, and as you talk about it, Over the Cap has the numbers. I don't know if this is projections, but based on what the numbers look like, it looks like they already have the idea of what it is. So is there any part of the contract that makes you say, ooh, that's a lot? Like, I mean, you let me know. So it looks like next year it's a cap number of 13 million and then 33, 29, 41.
41. So
41. But the dead money that year, by the way, like there's not a ton of dead money based on what I'm seeing.
no,
So
I just when I look at those numbers and then compare it over to his age, and it's it's fine, right? Like what I don't like is when you're getting a cap hit of 33 million and he's 32 years old and you're just like, like Khalil Mack of the Raiders, or one of those guys where they have to figure out like this is just not possible. This is, and again, the cap's going to go up and these numbers are going to look better as time goes on. So nothing, I mean, I don't like the $41 million cap hit there at the end, but that's when
I can
things will get
explain that.
adjusted. And yeah.
I can explain that. So here's the crazy stuff. And can you see my cursor on the screen or
Yeah.
not? Did you say yes or no? I couldn't hear you.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So look at this year, 2024. His cap number is 4.8 million, right? That's his cap number. Dead money and cap savings is 35 million here. This is why I think it can't be right, the contract. They're acting like it is. But I am also like they're acting like he's only getting 35 million. So these numbers are still off. But if this 2028 number is correct and the dead money is 3.3 million, this is in 2027, you renegotiate the contract again. Like that 41 million, it's essentially a 3-year contract worth whatever it is. And even with this 4-year contract, the beauty of this is it's actually a 5-year contract because he has this year that he's playing on almost nothing again. And I'm very interested to see if they're putting any of the signing bonus like on this year, if we have room to do it to kind of ease the pain down the line.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
It's so fascinating to me when you look at those numbers and you look at the wide receivers that are in the league today. Tyreek Hill, I mean, geez, that guy, I don't know how old he is. He's
30,
older, but
29 or 30.
yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So, like I was saying, just like power ranking receivers, I mean, there's Jefferson, there's actually the guy
Tyreek.
from what's that?
Yeah, it's Tyreek, it's Jefferson.
When I'm just thinking about like if I was to start a team today and they said, all right, you get to pick a wide receiver. I mean, Jefferson and
Jamar
then
Chase.
yep. And yes, good one.
I'm
Even
not saying ahead of St. Brown.
no, but I mean, you just can't think of it's St. Brown right in that
St. Brown.
for sure top 5. And I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, he's top 3. Like
yeah,
there's no question in my mind. It's Jefferson, St. Brown are my two top picks.
yeah,
Like, and you can put Chase in there too because of his ability to play outside. And Chase was the first wide receiver gone in 2021, by the way. The Bengals just picked up his 5th-year option, so they're still trying to figure out an extension. Like this is solid, man. Like you got yourself a top 3 wide receiver in the league and you just locked him up. And by the way, when this contract is over, he'll be the same age Tyreek Hill is now.
yes,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And oh man, that's why I don't know. I know I'd get spooked on big deals and how's it affect the team, and it's like we have never been in this territory before. I can't remember as a Lions fan where you draft a guy,
Nope.
he's an absolute, and we've got about 4 more of these coming up with
we do.
Aiden Hutchinson, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs. So it's like get used to the like we don't even know how to really grasp this scenario where okay, they're the top 1, 2 in their position at their age. You throw the money at them because again, as time goes on, that number seems even more palatable. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around what we're doing really because we have not seen it as fans of the Lions.
Yeah, we haven't seen it much. And the only 2 guys I can think of where it's just like, yeah, we want to hand you the bag for a second contract were Matt Stafford and Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
And Sue came with his own garbage. Baggage is the word I meant to say, but I said garbage. Sorry, I meant to say baggage.
But go ahead. Just really quick on that
Hit
point.
it.
You nailed Amon-Ra is awesome, unbelievable on the field and off the field. And
Yeah,
so Sewell never was, or
Sue.
Ndamukong Suh was never a problem like off the field, even though he was weird and wanted to be friends with like Warren Buffett and thought he was like this financial guy, business guy. But he was
Yeah,
weird. He really was. And
stomping on people.
yes, and then oh yeah, then
Nuts.
obviously in the games, it's like, dude, just he thought he was so tough, but yet
Yeah.
also wasn't, and would kill us in key situations with weird penalties. So it's the whole package that St. Brown gives you. Penei Sewell, we'll get to that in just a second. Same thing. So sorry, I interrupted you there, but like
Nope.
Ndamukong Suh, unbelievable, but there's just some things, man. That was the feeling with him.
There are some things, and like St. Brown, and we're gonna talk about Sewell soon. But they're locker room guys, they're young, they're 25. What is Sewell? Is he still 22? Like, he's
22,
so
23.
yeah, he's 24 apparently.
Oh, shoot.
All
Okay.
right, so darn. All right, but he was drafted so young, and so you give Amon-Ra St. Brown 4 years, 120 million, 30 million a year. Then you go out and you give Penei Sewell 4 years, 112 million. So St. Brown just ticks barely the highest paid wide receiver, but Penei Sewell becomes the highest paid tackle by $3 million a year. But here is the difference. I can make the argument, and I can make it relatively easily, that Penei Sewell is the best tackle in football.
That's right.
So, and here's the beautiful thing. This is a 6-year contract. I know it says 4. He's playing his 4th year on his rookie deal. He'll have the 5th year extension that obviously was accepted with this contract extension. And then you get the 4 years at the back end of this. So you're not paying the guy $28 million a year until 2026, 2027. What are tackles going to be being paid by then? 32?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And that's what we're saying here. A 6-year deal. And Penei Sewell is 23. He's 23.
He is 23. Okay.
Unbelievable. And so, yes, you nailed it. This is a
Or the cap
6-year
was
deal.
wrong.
It's good all around because, and we'll get to that in just a second, but it's great
Okay.
all around because it makes him feel good. Like, hey man, we're coming to you proactively. We love
Yeah.
you. We want you here. And like you said, I never bought into the locker room thing. I just thought it's pro sports. You got to have big time players.
Yep.
Whatever, they'll figure it out. It's not high. It's not junior high where it's like, hey, everybody. I don't know.
You going with the Jim Leland?
Yeah.
You remember him? You remember him? What makes for a good locker room atmosphere? Winning.
Yes.
Except you winning.
And he's smoking cigs and like guys, he doesn't even talk to his players and you don't even know what he's doing. Exactly. That's why I thought, hey, just compile. I'm exaggerating here, but compile a bunch of really good players, throw them out there, and you should be able to find. And it's like, no, at any level, and especially in the NFL, it's locker room guys, it's guys that play together, care, all that stuff. And that's Penei is like, dude, he is. When you think of the core of the Lions, it's Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and it's like Penei Sewell, that 3-headed alpha monster, and then it kind of builds out from there. So he is a core, the corest piece of the Lions.
The first pick
of
the Brad Holmes era. The
That's
Brad
right.
Holmes, Dan Campbell era. The first pick was Penei Sewell. They were fully in agreement on it. And that's who they wanted. And they absolutely nailed the pick. And I think like you have the 3 players that are just, thank you, Mark, by the way. Like you have those. I think the big 3 players that are like the lifeblood of this team right now are Sewell, St. Brown, and Hutch. And like those are the guys that are just flat out motor guys. Motor City, they are high motor guys with elite talent, and they're exactly what you want leading your team. So yeah, you're going to pay them money and you're not going to think bad about it. Think about this. When was the last in the same draft? Brad Holmes in the 1st and 4th round drafted 2 guys that are now good enough, unquestionably good enough to get the highest paid contracts at their respective positions 4 years later. Good for him. I mean, technically 3 years later, right? So, I mean, good for him. Wow.
unbelievable. And that is what is the essence of a rebuild, and or just not even a rebuild, building your team. And
Yes.
we know drafting's important, but when you see it actually, like, dude, and it's not even, these are the first two guys. And then, like we were just saying, I mean, you got Hutch, Brian Branch, Laporta, they're all coming through, and it's Jahmyr Gibbs. It's crazy, man.
It's crazy. And so here's the other side of it too. And I think about the past. Would you rather hand Penei Sewell the bag or Trey Flowers? Right?
Mm,
Like you're paying a guy from another team and you think it'll work on your team, but you don't know if it'll work on your team. Whereas with St. Brown and with Sewell, there's no question marks here. Like
no,
the only question mark is how healthy will they stay?
that's
That's it.
right.
Like, and so there's no question marks. It's nope, he works. We know him. He's a good personality fit. He's a good fit on the field. He's an elite talent. Like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more in. And I think all of us are in this Madden culture, right? Where it's like, oh man, I don't want to hand, oh, you want 30 million? Get out of here, right?
Mhm.
Like, I'm trading you. And that's what Madden culture brings. When the reality is, if you play Madden and you just pay your best players, you still have cap room. Like,
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you still have it. And so those are the things that kind of hit me where I'm like, the salary cap's going to keep going up.
That's right.
And Penei Sewell got 3 million more than the next highest paid tackle, but the salary cap just jumped what, 30 million?
That's right.
Okay. Like, okay. It's
Oh
just,
my gosh. Yeah, I just looked up kind of some of the biggest, worst contracts in Lions history, and I think that's, you
would
nailed it.
you?
Do you go out and grab a guy and pay him huge money that you don't really know? Remember Jesse James, the tight end?
Oh,
Who, I
come.
mean, it's like, oh, let's go, Jesse James, tight end, baby, and
He,
he was
he
terrible.
runs kind of weird, but okay. It's okay. I can see
Yeah,
it. You
we
know,
we got something here.
does he have short
You already
legs? I
named.
don't understand.
Oh, so he got a 4-year, $25 million deal, and this was 5-6 years ago,
No, it
dude.
was, yeah, it was at least 5 or 6 years ago. And that's an
Yeah,
awful, that's bad.
yeah.
Like, but of those worst contracts that you're looking at,
Mhm.
are any of those home talent that we brought back?
No, nope.
And that because they're proven known commodities. And if you don't want them back, you don't bring them back.
That's right.
It's
Yep.
that simple. CJ Gardner Johnson. I this might cause some waves. I don't know. But he was a known commodity to us for a year, and we said, we're
No,
good.
we're
We're
good.
gonna stick with Branch and Iffy and Kirby Joseph, and maybe we'll draft Mikey Sainer still. Sorry. Anyways, like, and we said goodbye. So
Dude.
can I change gears on you for a second?
Yep.
There's a lot of talk. Who do you think they're talking about? I think he gets 45 mil. Who do you think they're talking about?
Jared?
They're talking about our boy Jared Goff, right? And then you get Casey early on was saying Jared Goff should get the bag now too, the highest paid QB. Chris, in context, I was on Twitter. And by the way, if you haven't yet, I call it Twitter because it's impossible to say I was on X without sounding like I'm on drugs. All right. So I'm on Twitter. We have a Twitter, Sports Talk Detroit. Follow us. If you haven't yet followed us, follow us. And we like posting stuff on there. But here's my question for you. Adam Schefter reports that despite the St. Brown and Penei Sewell contracts, the Lions and Jared Goff continue in talks, but they're not close and nothing is imminent.
Mm. I
Why?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
think
Thanks so much.
one theory would be that you've got an opportunity now to see Hendon Hooker in live action. He's healthy, he's practicing preseason, scout team, all these things, and you can see, because again, a rookie deal quarterback, I mean, are you kidding me how valuable that is if they're good? If you are a Patrick Mahomes, if you're a CJ Stroud, like that, a guy that you can get on a rookie deal for a couple of years, and they're just really, really good. I don't
Mhm.
know, and I would highly doubt, seriously, that doesn't happen, that Jared Goff, a winning quarterback, and you're just like, yep, we're going to go with this rookie guy or this, young quarterback. I don't think that's the case, but I also really highly doubt and have a hard time believing Jared Goff's just demanding top dollar. He knows what this move here to Detroit, what he's got around him. He knows what he has. So I have a hard time just understanding where the disconnect is here, because I think we can pay you very well, man, and you can make a lot of money without getting that top dollar and not really put us in a bind. So that's why I'm a little confused where we're at with this. And those are my theories. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I can come up with. Like, that's all I can come up with. But the real question is, like, how much does he want?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if they're not close, did the Lions come at him and they were like, sorry, I didn't mean to put that up there. All right. Did the Lions come at him and were like, hey, you know what? Kirk Cousins just got 4 years, 45 million. We'd love to do that for you. In fact, we'll make it 5 years, 45 million.
Yep.
Right. And Jared was like, nah, I want 55. Or his agent, right? And so they're 10 million apart. Or was it, I want 50, Lions said 40. Like, it's just weird that they're saying that they're not particularly close. And I think that's the one I struggle with. So I wanted, and I went and I looked, and here, this is for everybody to see. Okay. Who are the highest paid quarterbacks right now? So Joe Burrow, I said Gerber,
Gerbers.
5 years, 275 million, an average salary of 55 million. Number 2, Herbert, 52.5. All right. Number 3, Lamar Jackson at 52. All right. So these guys are all over 50, 51 for Hurts. Wow. Right. Kyler Murray, 46.1. So we're sitting here and we're saying Jared Goff has to take 45 million. So you're telling me we should pay Goff less than Kyler Murray? Mighty
Right.
Mouse? Deshaun Watson? Pay him less than Deshaun Watson? Patrick Mahomes, now, again, he signed a 10-year, $450 million contract. So it looked like a crazy contract at the time, but it's going to work out really well for them. And then you have Kirk Cousins. I understand why Jared Goff would want 45 to 50 million.
Yep. Yeah. I know. And that's where and I just would be shocked that the Lions are offering are lowballing him, so I think they'll get there. I think Jared Goff is going to get something like that, something manageable where it's a 3-4 year, something's like, dude, I'm happy. I'll take 3 more years here. And you roll with, because I think we just forget, or we have a hard time emotionally, physically, well, I don't know what the word is, like looking at Jared Goff and
aesthetically.
Aesthetically. Thank you. You see this guy, this Tom Brady type of body style. When you see all these explosive dudes at quarterback now that continue to come out, and more mobile is better and all that, and you just you see Goff, but the guy is so good, so efficient, accurate, did so many good things this year that you just can't deny that he's the guy. Let's keep moving this thing forward. Let's go. So let's figure it out.
Yeah, and you have to ask the question. I think I know the answer to it, but it's like, all right, we just locked up the best tackle in the game. Who does that help most?
Yep.
Jared Goff. We just locked up a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. Who does that help most?
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff. So are you doing it because without paying Goff yet? So are you doing it because you want to re-sign these guys knowing that it ensures Jared Goff's success? Or are you re-signing them first because you think they're more important? That's the hard question. And that's the one. I think I know the answer to it. You're re-signing them to keep the band together. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, that Joseph Austin, really close to Joel Osteen in name. Hooker will be trade bait after Goff signs. Isn't he 26 right? Yeah, he is. He's old. And that's the thing people keep forgetting. Goff's only 3 years older than Hooker, but Hooker is a lot cheaper. Much more unproven, obviously. Obviously. The whole thing is very curious. I just wish we could know. I wish I was a fly on the wall to know what they're talking about when it comes to Jared Goff, because there has to be the conversations of, well, do we want to pay Goff, or do we want to also be able to sign Laporta and Gibbs and Hutch
Hutch,
and McNeil and like
Jameson
JMO?
Williams. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of players you're gonna have to pay, and you're gonna have to say goodbye to some of them.
Yep. It's crazy. What a weird
The
place
world.
to be in, that it's like, man, we got all these talented players that are in the top 5 of their positions
Mhm.
all on our team at every different, and it's like, I don't know what to do. I mean, even look at like Taylor Decker, where he's getting up there in age, but what you have. You just left tackle staple. Do you give him a couple more years? Do you let It's hard to imagine us letting any of these guys walk, just
Yeah.
because it's like but I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, Goff, I can't wait to see what that it's gonna get done. It's in my opinion, but I just don't know what that looks like and
I
when
just
it will.
I don't really I'm not eager to find out what a world without Goff looks like.
No.
I'm just not. Like, there are not that many teams in the NFL that have a quarterback that is good. Let's go back to this list, right? Kirk
Yes.
Cousins,
Thank you. I
right?
was just gonna yep.
Like, so even in this list, right, you have two guys that are top 6 in pay making 46 million a year that aren't that good right now. I
Mhm.
think Kyler's set for a big year, especially if they draft Marvin Harrison. But Kirk Cousins, yeah, good quarterback coming off a torn Achilles, right?
Right?
And he's what, 34? And like, okay, Josh Allen, great quarterback. Like, obviously, I'd take him in a second,
Mhm.
right? I'd take him in a second. Daniel Jones, nope,
Wow.
nope.
Look at that contract.
But
Whoops.
I love the whoops. And
Whoopsie.
here's the thing, only half of it's guaranteed, right? So this is probably his last year with that contract. But here's the beautiful and here's the crazy thing about it. This is where we have to remember it's not about how good you are, it's about who's next when it comes to contracts. But
That's right.
if you just happen to also be the best, like Sewell and St. Brown, it's a wonderful thing. But you don't always have to be the best. Stafford, 11, right? Dak Prescott, 12. By the way, his cap hit this year is ridiculous. It's like 65 million. Um, okay, Derek Carr, no thank you.
No, thank you.
Aaron Rodgers, you're old. Look at doesn't that picture describe him
Well,
perfectly?
and again, you're old, you're just a problem. You're
You're a problem.
perfect for New York, and it's not how you build a team. Wow.
There's our
Jesus.
guy.
So I take Goff.
And here's the thing that I think people are forgetting because I like math. My mom was a math teacher. I like math. All right. I don't necessarily love math homework, but I like math.
Mhm.
And if Jared Goff, if we're paying him 33, I think it's actually more like 31 or 32 million that we're paying him this year. So we hand him 45 million, 48 million. It's not 48 million. It's only 15 million more than we were paying him.
That's
Now,
right.
it's 40, it's 47 million more than we'd pay Hooker. But
Yeah.
like, if you don't have a quarterback, you're dead in the water. All
Yeah.
right. Geno Smith,
Nope.
Jordan Love, yes. But here's what I'm saying. Half of the teams in the NFL have a quarterback.
Mhm.
10 of those teams you truly think you can win a Super Bowl with.
Yep.
We have a quarterback. I
Yes.
don't want to go back. I think sometimes we forget what life was like before Stafford. I don't want to go back to that life.
No.
Then you're the Chicago Bears.
Mm, and this is where people get hung up, is he can't play off script. That's because he doesn't go off script. He does there. That's where Justin Fields, man, he's great off script. Well, that's right. He's freaking off script all the time. And
You know who else can't play off script? Tom Brady.
yeah, that's right. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Oh no, they just changed the script.
Yeah. And they don't,
Sorry,
it's
I'm
like,
not
no,
saying he's Peyton Manning. I'm not saying he's Tom
no,
Brady.
but how many times, I mean, there's a few videos out there where like Peyton Manning, there's a bust in the blocking. It only
Mhm.
happens like 6 times in his whole career where he wasn't totally locked in, but he would just be like, okay, fall down.
Just
Like
drop.
I'm I'm not doing this, and because I'm going to do 99.4% of the plays I've ever had. I'm
Yes.
going to make the right decision. I'm getting the ball out. I'm
Yeah.
not. No, I'm not. I'm not Kyler Murray, or I mean, it looks fun and exciting, and yes, every so often they make a bomb throw, guy gets out, but for the vast majority, it's
It's
just
nuts.
it's like this is not how you win football games running around in the NFL.
When they were talking about the top 10 played offensive linemen in the league, Sewell's obviously number one. The Philadelphia Eagles have 3 players on their offensive line making more than $20 million a year. So they have 3 players in the top 10 highest paid offensive linemen, and they still are paying Hurts. They're still paying Devontae Smith. They just handed him the bag. I think he got like 25, 26, 24 million, somewhere in there. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as he got that, I was like, oh, St. Brown's getting 30. Right. And then it's not like they have a bad team here. They just paid Barkley. Right. It's like you can pay a lot of people with where the salary cap's at these
Yep.
days. Like you're not going to die. Like you have to pay people. You want the right to pay your players, because if you have the right to pay your players, it means you're doing things right.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff, I believe, is one of those players. He now has, again, arguably the best offensive line in football. He can't go off script. Good. We've created an offensive line where he doesn't have to.
Yeah. And are those Christmas presents behind you?
No. Okay. Oh, wrong way. So,
Oh my goodness.
my dude, my little dude, H-Man, right? It's his birthday tomorrow. So those are Spider-Man wrapping. That's Spider-Man wrapping paper. I just put him to bed before I hopped on here, and we're gonna go upstairs and decorate for it. And luckily, it's a school night, so he'll be in bed by the time we go live for the draft tomorrow.
Perfect. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, this is just great. You know, what's funny, Craig, is at 8 p.m. Eastern, I just noticed the Lions YouTube channel is putting out Inside the Den, first one of the year.
Yes.
So
Yes, I did see that was coming. I know what I'm doing tonight.
yeah, so join us for the draft
Yep.
tomorrow. Oh my goodness, we're going to be on here live just like this, even more
Yep.
interactive. It's so much fun because we're kind of watching, there's picks coming in, but we're really being
We're just
interactive. So
riffing. We're
join us.
talking with you. The
Like
people.
what's your favorite sports movie? And everyone's like, and it's like it's just so fun. I love it. It's
Top
everybody.
5 fries.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
like
Let's
we're
just
gonna.
do your number one fry, Freddy's
Whoa,
fry sauce.
Freddy's.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's like a little Steak and Shake action
Yeah.
with Freddy's.
Is Steak and Shake still around?
Yep.
Hmm.
Not well, but yeah, it's around.
Hanging. And it's surprising that didn't hang better, but I mean, COVID, it was already just hanging,
Smelled really bad in there.
and then COVID just wrecked it because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, can you bring that food out to us now? Come on in.
No. They drive through.
Right. I wonder
Yeah,
why that
but it wasn't quick.
no.
It wasn't quick, and it was never quite good enough. It's interesting. We had this conversation with a guy that we're actually going to be bringing on for the draft tomorrow. That'll join us for a little bit. Clint, friend of the show, and you've had that, and he started it. And with the first pick, I didn't go McDonald's fries. I went Five Guys.
Haven't had it enough. I mean, I just can't. It's not like a staple. I can't just think of it right now, but
Unbelievable.
I know.
All right. So I see Derek here, excited to watch your draft stream, guys. Been watching with you last year, excited for the draft tomorrow. Can't wait. We're very interested to see what it looks like with the draft being live in Detroit. We expect to take a little hit here, but man, we've taken a long time to grow the community here at Sports Talk Detroit, and we're hoping to just have some fun, whether it's 50 people that show up or 500. It'll
That's
be a
right. That's right. Have some fun. And Derek Farkas,
Marcus.
how'd you come up with that image there?
Yeah,
boy.
what is the little mask there going on? Like,
Wow, is that
I think we're showing our age right now, and I'm sure most people know exactly what that is.
yeah, it's some video game that he did on AI with
Exactly. Yeah, it's a skin,
gotcha.
and
Yeah.
we're just like, I don't know what's going on. I have no
Um,
idea.
all right, let's get out of here. You go decorate.
Sounds good. Oh, Sorry. I just saw this comment and it freaked me out as I was about to leave.
Oh, let's go.
That's a
Do it.
lot.
Do it. All right.
It's so much.
We'll see everybody tomorrow.
See everybody tomorrow. Go follow us on Twitter.
Follow us. See us tomorrow. Subscribe right now. Subscribe and see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.